One More Sheep by Midge Kelly and Russell Ato. On a wild windy night, in a thunderstorm, Sam fetched home his sheep and tucked them up warm. With woolly socks on their toes and woolly hats on their heads, all safe and snug in a big cosy bed. Now Sam owned 10 sheep, and he had to be sure that he'd fetched them all in from the wet windy moor, where the hungry wolf growls and the hungry wolf prowls. On wild windy nights the hungry wolf howls. Sam had to know that they were all safe in bed, and one way to know was to count the mutton heads. He counted out loud, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's as far as he got before he started to snore. He always does that. What's so hard about counting sheep? Is there something about us that sends him to sleep? I think he finds us extremely boring. How rude! And now he's snoring. Out on the moor the wind whistled and wuthered, while the sheep safe indoors snuggled under their covers, drifting through dreams until a loud rat-a-tat woke them all up. Who's there? What's that? Sam jumped out of bed and threw open the door. Well, bless my pink pyjamas, it's one sheep more, snivelling and shivering, bedraggled and forlorn. What a fool I am, cried Sam, to leave you in the storm. Come on in, my precious lamb. Stop it, Sam, you silly man. He's got the brains of a watering can. How do you know that's one of your sheep? You didn't count us, did you? You fell asleep. Now don't muck about, said Sam. Remember who's boss. Let the little bleater in at once before I get cross. Not before you count us. Yes, count us, Sam. Do you think he'll do it? I don't think he can. Well, Sam could count his fingers. He could count his toes. But he couldn't count the sheep in front of his nose. He scratched his head and wondered what to say. He couldn't tell them nicely, so he told them anyway. Sam said, it's a well-known fact that counting sheep tires people out and sends them to sleep. You're not at all interesting. You're not at all odd. You're a first-class ticket to the land of Nod. Well, thanks very much. How rude. That's an appalling attitude. But, boring or not, one thing was sure. The sheep didn't want Sam to open the door. He's got to count us, for goodness sake. But how are we going to keep him awake? We've got to cut a dash, make a splash, put on a show. Do you think it will work? I don't know, but here goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Who's this then? Sam quickly shut the door again. After all that fuss and fluster, Sam couldn't get to sleep until he closed his eyes and tried his best count his boring sheep.